It's that easy. It's always that fucking easy, dude. If you want to know how the sauce gets made, that's how, you know? You just wait and then I'm gonna have to edit and mix it. But that's the gist. So we're doing this one instantly, right? What is this? The Young Talk Podcast, episode 41. This is episode 41. I feel like my brain is so scrambled. Episode 40 is actually coming out late. So this is unfortunate because I can't apologize on that episode for it to come out late. It's coming out late, so I'm sorry that it came out a little late. But my hands are tied, okay? Sometimes they are. This episode, what are we doing? What are we doing? Okay. I know what we're doing. So I have a list. I'm prepared this time. I'm prepared this episode a little bit. I saw Aliens last night. Not like the movie. I mean like real life aliens, legitimate in the sky extraterrestrial shit. Now you could be like, oh, he's crazy. Cool. You weren't there. I get it. But I was there. So I was outside taking pictures because the moon was really cool. I don't have a picture of the moon though, which is ironic because I found out last night also can't do night photography with my camera anymore because I think I need to get a new battery. And I think I need some stronger lenses from what I can tell. Learned that last night because I was trying to get shots of the moon and it just wasn't coming out. Like it wasn't coming out as good as I wanted the photos to be able to come out in comparison to what you can actually see. So I was outside walking, went up to this little area and I was taking shots of the moon and then I turned around. I'm like, oh, that's weird. There's a bunch of stars out. Like there was like usually where I live, there's not a ton of stars out at one given time. Only if you walk into certain areas, you can kind of see a little bit more than the average because of, light pollution or whatever. But this area I've been to at this time of night, it was like 6 o'clock. It was dark because, I'm looking at it and at first I'm like, oh shit, maybe that's like the Big Dipper. But then I noticed, I'm like, wait, there was way too many like dots in alignment for this to be the Big Dipper. There was like 5-6 dots in alignment or whatever. And I'm like, that's weird. That's not the Big Dipper. That's too many. It's too many stars. I'm not a constellation expert, but that's too many, right? And so then I look at it for like 2-3 seconds or whatever, and then I notice it starts moving, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck is that? Am I tripping, or are these stars like moving? And they're all in like sync, spaced out, probably like symmetrically spaced out, and they're like moving across the sky. And my first thought was like, oh, is this that Starlink shit that I hear about, that I've seen people talking about? So I'm thinking it's that because I'm like, okay, that would make sense. Never seen it before in this area in my entire life. Been here a while. Haven't seen it in this area ever. And then it's moving across the sky in front of me. And then it starts each light just like from the tip point downwards or whatever. It just starts slowly disappearing one by one. And I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, and it's dark as shit. So there's like, I'm like, maybe there's clouds or whatever, and it's just going in past a cloud or some shit, like a plane or whatever. So then I'm like, okay, this is that Starlink shit. Cool. Why am I seeing it though? Why is it here in this area? Because that's weird. It's never been in this area in the entire. I'm like, so it scared me for a second. I'm like, oh shit, that means the Elon Musk team, what are they doing? What's happening with AI? I'm thinking my dumbass was like, oh shit, AGI's happened. It's here. They figured it out. Either China won or we won, and something's happening, right? That was the first thought in my mind. The second thought was, oh, aliens, because there's nothing I can do to explain this. Can't take a picture of it. Phone wouldn't be able to pick up the lights because of how dim they are on camera, and my camera can't do night shots. So I have no way of taking photos of this, right? So I send a message to my girlfriend. I'm like,
hey, I just saw something. I see something weird.
And then I tell her what I saw, and she's like,
well, maybe they're supposed to be shooting. There's supposed to be like a meteor shower or a shooting star shower or whatever for the next couple of days.
Okay, maybe that's what I saw. Never really seen one in person, but I mean, maybe that's what I saw.
But I'm like, I don't know if that's how they're supposed to look though. The lights, and there was like 7 of them spaced apart evenly in a straight ass line, moving across the sky. And then once they hit a certain point, they just start going out. Once they hit a certain point, fading out, dimming out, and disappearing. Didn't see them again after that. I'm like, I don't know if that's how meteor showers work. And I'm looking up the Starlink shit to like just get, because there's photos of it, right? So let's just take a look here. Let's just take a fucking look here. So this is a photo. This is what the short of the Starlink thing looks like in motion, right? This is not what I saw. This is not what I saw. That's the simple sadness of it. These dots are much closer together and much more distinct and moving a lot faster than what I saw. The ones I saw were farther apart and moving much slower and weren't this bright. They were bright as a star would be if you were looking at it in the sky. This is bright like a light. You know what I mean? Like this to me, I would be like, yeah, that's weird, but that's the Starlink thing. This is moving fast. The thing I saw wasn't moving this fast. So I was like, okay, not the Starlink. And then I looked again at other photos just to make sure I'm not like cherry picking. But everything that shows like what the Starlink looks like in the sky is that, or something like this, where it's uneven. And I'm like, the thing I saw was even as fuck. These lines are not together. They're not aligned correctly. The ones I saw were literally perfectly spaced out, moving together at a very weird speed. It wasn't like, it was just like as if it was just gliding, bro. And I'm thinking, and I'm, because when I first I saw it, it was like just a few of them, and then it just started becoming more and more. And I'm thinking like, this is weird, because I'm like, it's the amount of space between them made it seem like the Starlink thing is huge. So I'm like, there's no way this thing is that fucking big. Like it's big, sure.
That's big.
How big?
Big.
But this is making it seem like if the spatial of these lights is what it is, that means this thing is massive. There's no way it's that. So that's why I'm like, what the fuck did I see? Because now I'm like, okay, wasn't the Starlink, did not see this. This was not what I saw, 100%. So then I'm like, okay, maybe it was the meteor shower, right? So maybe, fucking Diddy, maybe it was a meteor shower, right? So then let's just type in meteor shower. Then you look at shit like this where the people capture meteor showers, right? Let's just wait. Let's just see what it looks like. That's not what I saw. That's not what I saw. Like at the end of the day, that's not what I saw. Nothing like that, you know? Nothing like that. Nothing like this. Was not this clear. Nothing like this. It went like, I would have to just draw what I saw. That would be it. I can't just describe it beyond that, you know? Nothing, and there goes the sleep videos. Nothing between a meteor shower and Starlink explains what I saw. So I was like, huh, that's scary. Was that aliens? I hope so. Because cool, they're here. Don't know why they're in my town though. And I haven't looked it up beyond that because I don't know what to even describe anymore or what to look for. It was just dots perfectly spaced out moving across the sky. And then they just one by one disappeared. Couldn't tell you if it was because of a cloud because it was way too dark to see, which was strange because it wasn't dark enough to be able to, I was able to see these lights, but once they hit a certain point, I don't know, they just overpassed. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. If it was aliens, awesome. If it wasn't aliens, what is an alien, bro? If it wasn't aliens, I don't know what it was. I hope it was aliens because if it was something else, I have no explanation for it. So, you know, I'd rather it be aliens. And I don't know why. Just abduct somebody already, bro. Just fucking do it. Stalking my damn town. This is probably because, oh my god, the episodes, it's probably out by now. But the fucking the aliens talking about the stocks and shit.
What are they doing?
Bruh. The trillions of debt that we're in. Yeah. See, this is what happens. I was listening to a psyop dude talking about psyops last night. This is how they get you, bro. This is how they get you. I mentioned alien podcast one time. Now I see lights in the sky. Aliens are coming after me, man. This is gonna be the last episode before I go missing.
I am not suicidal.
I was taken. I'm pretty sure I saw aliens then. It was either aliens or Starlink or something unexplainable. Netflix is buying Warner Brothers. They bought Warner Brothers. Now this is a big ass problem. This is a huge problem. So here, okay, we'll start with the why. Netflix is buying Warner Brothers. Now, for the past week or so, there's been like a bidding war between all these different streaming services and companies to buy Warner Brothers or whatever. And in my mind at the time, I was like, there's no way Netflix is going to outpace these other studios. And then they do, and it's by billions. And it's like, yet people still pay ads for ads on Netflix and all these stupid ass things you give your consumers. Yet you had 80 something billion dollars to bid on for one of the most for one of the founding cinema studios, you know, responsible for so many things. Like, let's just play the video.
Next in our spotlight, a major billion-dollar merger deal between Netflix
83 billion motherfucking dollars, dude. Are you serious?
and Warner Brothers Discovery. Netflix says it's entered into a definitive agreement to acquire Warner Brothers in a deal worth close to $83 billion. And if approved, Netflix will be the new home for franchises like Batman, The Sopranos, Big Bang Theory, and Game of Thrones. The deal also means Netflix will take ownership of its rival streaming service, HBO Max. So for more on...
Like, bro, I'm actually just hearing that for the first time. That's actually just that actually just took a little bit of wind out of my sails. They're taking control over HBO Max. Yeah, we're fucked. We're fucked, dude. This is the death of not only theatrical releases, we'll get to that, but of the dynamics of these streaming services. You know, I think, what year is this? 2025? Maybe 2022, 2023 was probably as good as streaming services we're going to get before we got to something like this. And I feel like it was only a long time coming, right? And it's always a shift because you go from cable television to shit like TiVo to streaming services. And now it's just going to end up going back because streaming services are no longer convenient. People have to have, and this has been a brewing issue, is when people have multiple streaming services, they got to get Disney Plus, and then they got to have Netflix, and then they got to have Peacock, and then they got to have Paramount just to keep up with, just to be able to have the shows that they want to watch, because all these platforms have been so divided or separated in terms of rights and ownerships of shows and IPs. And I always thought, like, this is strange, because I remember when they took shows off, like different shows off of Netflix that used to be on there. And I'm like, you know what the problem is? I didn't want to have to go to HBO Max to watch certain shows. I wanted to watch them on Netflix. And then when you have to choose, right, it then changes where people are spending their money. And so for years, Netflix has just been this I say sleeping dragon, but more like a fucking demon, where its initial start out was something so nuanced and so well wanted, has now just become this toxic black hole. It's not even the fact that it's not about liking Netflix shows or shows that they put out. It's just the whole mindset of Netflix itself. I don't want them to have ownership over HBO Max level shows. This is them having control over shit like The Sopranos. I don't know if this means that they have the rights to, like, let's say, try and do a reboot or a spinoff or whatever, or take off episodes that they deem may not be suitable for audiences. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is now, there's so many levels to this that's concerning. And this is just one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is the fact that Netflix is saying that they want to have shorter theater runs for their movies that come out of Warner Bros. Now, which is fucking ridiculous, because the CEO thinks that people want to be able to stream their shows and they want to meet their audience where they're at. When I'm like, you're such a brain dead individual, because the whole point of going to the theater it is an event to get you out of your house and into a space with other people to enjoy the entertainment all together as a community. You are depriving people of that experience, which is kind of the whole idea, which is the whole point of Warner Bros. Like, that's the whole thing too. Warner Bros. Was one of the first studios to have talking films, and it's just very disheartening. People are going to keep paying for Netflix. They're not going to stop their subscriptions. They're not going to boycott the service, because consumer mentality. You're going to want to watch whatever the fuck you think is worth it on Netflix, instead of just not Go back to buying DVDs so you can stop having to pay to watch the same shit over and over. I don't know. It's a dark time for film. It's a dark time for movies because this is only the beginning. If this is the case, Netflix, I think it makes me feel more and more like the movie Babylon is more relevant.
Architecture fucking Bauhaus, you know? And we're still doing costume pictures? It's the dinosaurs, kid. It's the one who go to Beverly Hills for meatballs and mint juleps to reminisce about the old days when they can't see. There's so much more to be done. We've got to innovate. We've got to inspire. We got to dream beyond these pesky shells of flesh and bone. Map those dreams onto celluloid and print them into history. Turn today into tomorrow so that tomorrow's lonely man may look up at that flickering screen and say, for the very first time, Eureka! I am not alone! Yeah.
Because if people don't see the point in going to the movies, then cinema has no point. Movies have no point. They're not meant for you to just watch, at your convenience. They're supposed to be the thing that you break your habits to go and see. Movies, I guess, Netflix is going to ruin the point of movies.
There's a lot of still questions about this. Honestly, the heads of Netflix were asked about this morning, their plans for HBO. Obviously, it's been a separate business all this time. Will it be part of Netflix? Will it be an add-on you have to pay for, kind of going back to the old school? When you had a cable bundle, you paid the extra $15 for...
And I feel like they're definitely going to milk the fuck out of their consumers with this, bro. It's definitely going to be an add-on that you have to pay for in order to even have access to it. We should have saw this coming because this is the fucking fucked up thing about like not being on the insides of these things. Because when things happen before this, then it starts to make sense. A while back, HBO Max took, I believe it was Suits, if I'm not mistaken, the show Suits. I want to say it was Suits. If it wasn't Suits, it was Succession. It was a show with an S. And they took it and they put it on Netflix to see how it would do. And the show got like 3 or 5 times the amount of views on Netflix as opposed to being on its original platform due to the audience on Netflix. And at the time, I didn't think that this was something that it would lead to, but this has probably been something that's been considered, right? Because with Netflix acquiring shit like HBO Max, those shows on that platform, on Netflix platform, are going to get a ton of more views. It's not just the fact that like, oh, now we're going to have True Blood back on Netflix, because it used to be on Netflix. A lot of those shows used to be on Netflix for a while. This was when Netflix was not as strong as it is today. This was early 2012, 13, 14, somewhere around there. I don't know. And now all these shows, it's really just a profit thing, because when that's just more money in their pockets, and Netflix is in gaming monopoly right now, it's just consuming property now. It's going to be able to just do that. And I don't want Netflix to own movies. And I'm not talking like film. I'm not talking like just run of the movies that you see on Netflix. I'm talking about actual movies, bro. Yeah, it's going to suck. It's going to suck. It's going to be fucking weak. You saw how long it took for them to make fucking Stranger Things. You know what I mean? Like, Netflix doesn't have their priorities together. They would rather fuck over everybody for the sake of showing that they can try to make something good. And they can't. They can just buy something good and work from it. Like, bro. Jesus Christ. $83 billion.
HBO,
83.
A lot of these questions haven't been answered yet, so there's still a lot of details we're waiting to hear about.
Well, and Sean, so, we're hearing already from some Hollywood heavy hitters like director James Cameron. He said this deal would be a, quote, disaster. I guess, what's the main pushback here?
Yeah, the movies business is probably the bigger sector here. Netflix does not have a real history of putting movies into theaters. They do kind of token releases for their films in a few hundred theaters here or there. Their head, Ted Sarandos, the co-CEO of the company, has been on the record many times saying he doesn't really think the theatrical movie business is a good business. And this is the man buying one of the most, storied movie studios in Hollywood history, and one of the biggest providers of film. So a lot of people are spooked right now in Hollywood. I mean, that's really the reaction to this thing is, will they be putting movies in 2,000, 4,000 theaters, these major releases anymore, which is what filmmakers like Jim Cameron, believe is the lifeblood, of Hollywood and the history of Hollywood. So that's where a lot of people really have a lot of questions. The guilds are also, the Writers Guild, the Teamsters have also raised their objections. The movie theater owners have also raised their objections. So not a lot of people are feeling this deal out there.
That's what's crazy. Like literally every avenue of people is like, I don't like this deal. I don't like what this means. This is making me have to poop. Netflix should not be owning Warner Bros. They just shouldn't. Man. It's like, imagine, I don't even know if it even makes sense to even try and imagine, I hate to even use Marvel as an example, but it's like the only movie I think in modern time that really like generates this level of reaction. But like, let's say if Infinity War never had only had a so long of a theatrical release and then the rest was just on streaming, like if it was out for like a week or two and then that was it, and then you have to go and pay for a subscription to go watch it and still have to deal with ads, and you miss, like, there are just so many elements that are being removed from the theater experience. And I don't know why they're doing this. I don't see a reality where it makes sense, not even in an AI reality. It just diminishes the impact of a movie when it debuts. Everybody should not be inside. Like okay, a better example. One of the most interesting experiences I saw, like phenomenal things that I saw when it came to like movies coming out in theaters. When I was working at the theater, the movie Top Gun Maverick came out. And I never heard of Top Gun. I didn't know what it was about or anything. But this movie had such a huge reaction from like people that I had never seen before. And I had never seen so many people come, like different types of people come out to see this movie. Not even that, but like literally being able to see the audience of this movie come to the theater to see this movie. And I was working at the theater for a while and I was like, these are people I've never seen come into this theater for anything. And yet here they are to watch this movie. There were military people coming in in uniforms or shit, like reserving shit to watch this movie. This movie had such an impact. They re-released it again and it did even better, I think, than the first time. And I watched the movie and the first time it was amazing. Cried. But I was just like, I've never seen this before, for something that wasn't like, Marvel Infinity War. So I was like, this is so, the best word is beautiful, because I'm like, that's seeing a movie do the magic of what movies are supposed to do. And you don't get that feeling when it's just on streaming. Like, you need the theater for people to have time to go and have that experience. And man, imagine not having that experience anymore. Because once you shorten the theater runs, people are going to have less incentive to go, unless it's a movie that they really want to see. And people are already hanging on movies where there aren't a lot of movies that they are dying to see these days. We don't need shorter theater runs. We need better quality movies so people can feel confident to put their dollar to go see it. And putting it immediately on streaming services at that point, it's like just adding it to the roster of thousands of other things that they can choose from. And and the chances of them going out of their way to go watch the new thing, it doesn't work the same. It's a different choice you're making. And so that's the problem, right? If Paramount does the same, we're fucked. Who else is there? Why am I thinking, Universal? Like there's so many studios, legacy studios, that we don't need to see be lost to streaming.
Well, and let's look at the other side of the coin here. I mean, what is the potential upside of a merger like this?
None.
Well, I mean, they're arguing it's pro-consumer. Perhaps, instead of paying for both HBO Max and Netflix, you would get more for your dollar. Again, hasn't really been established in terms of how that will work out. They're emphasizing that their members, they call them their subscribers, will get a wider breadth of content to enjoy at home. So that's kind of their push for it.
What?
They're also
That makes no fucking sense. This acquisition brings together two pioneering entertainment businesses, combining Netflix's innovation, global reach, and best-in-class streaming service with Warner Bros.' century-long legacy of world-class storytelling. That's crazy. You can't say world-class storytelling and then say Netflix. Like, that's gonna be synonymous. It's not. It's not, bro. It's so sad, It's so sad. Man. It's so unfortunate.
pushing some increased employment, which I don't know that it really nets out. They've also targeted $2 to $3 billion of what they call cost savings, or essentially, efficiencies, meaning layoffs, marketing spend cuts, things like that. Which, if you work in Hollywood, is not great news at all. This after Paramount.
See, bro, it's like the more they break it down, you can't even say the good shit. You just end up saying all the bad things. Like, oh, he thinks it's gonna cut down costs of marketing and all that. Yeah, shorter theater runs mean you have to market less. And that also means you're going to be cutting some jobs. So now people are losing jobs when we're already losing jobs because of AI. Thanks, dude. Thanks, CEO Netflix guy. You're making the movie industry's dreams come true. This is beautiful. This is beautiful.
$3 billion of cost savings earmarked when and their deal with the Skydance merger, which just happened. So again, a lot of angst here going on amongst the executive class and the below the line and the creative class in Hollywood.
There's nothing good about this, and anybody that tries to like make it seem like it's good, you're lying to yourself. It's not good for the consumer. Like, it makes the consumer have less reason to go out and consume. Yeah, man. There's another video here. What experts say Netflix offers to Warner Bros. Film and streaming assets. Let's see what this one is.
Netflix winning the bidding war for Warner Brothers Discovery this morning, a huge transaction worth $72 billion.
The combination of Netflix and Warner Brothers creates a better Netflix for the long term. It sets us up for success for decades to come.
I like how he frames it for success for Netflix, not for Warner Bros., right? Not for the consumer, though. It's everything's in success for Netflix, not for the audience, not for the consumer, not for the ticket goer. Like, he didn't mention like, oh, so that way we can reduce ticket cost or whatever. None of this is to help people enjoy movies, which is the whole foundation of the business. It's all to just help Netflix become a legacy studio or whatever the fuck for their shitty movies. Like, this is ridiculous, bro. This is 72 billion. Why are you guys downplaying? We know it's 83 billion.
I don't think Netflix is buying Warner's for the stock value.
Not at all.
They've got that. They're the growth stock. What they need is to grow subscribers and to grow the overall audience. And they see the intellectual property and the library that Warner's offers as being pretty important. This is going to be a very difficult regulatory process for this transaction. The industry is not excited about this. I mean, my DMs and texts blew up last night with some pretty dour messages, because anytime you take out a buyer in the entertainment ecosystem, it results in fewer opportunities. Now, Netflix would argue that they're going to be stronger and they're going to grow more and they're going to have more opportunities for talent to work on bigger and better projects. But the history of the business has shown that when you take out a buyer, you reduce opportunities.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It just sounds like it's a benefit for Netflix before it's a benefit for anyone else. I mean, there is no opportunities that's going to be given to people. It's just going to be jobs lost. Honestly, it's just more dreams dead. Like, now imagine you can't say I want to go work for Warner Bros. Now. You're like, now you have to say I want to grow up to work for Netflix. That's just it's just less exciting. Like, I'm not excited for that internship. Tubi. I'd rather do Tubi.
This is going to be great for consumers. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You're going to get a lot more content at low pricing. Like, that is clearly going to be the messaging.
No, you're
guarantee from Netflix. Lots of content, shorter movie windows. Like, this is going to be very consumer friendly. Obviously, Hollywood's going to have to.
But how is that consumer friendly? Like, I hate when they say that, but they don't explain that. Shorter movie windows is better for the consumer. How? if they don't have the opportunity to go and spend the time to go consume the content. If you just put the content onto the streaming service, what if they even don't care and they just bypass it, you know, because they're busy binging their shows or whatever? What's a consumer if they have no desire to go out and consume things? If everything is just brought to them, they're not consuming anything. They're just this is just bullshit.
Kind of
Painted as a
their
hope.
minds around it.
Lesser prices, sure.
I think when you have Netflix, which is the largest streaming company, acquire this kind of power in an $83 billion deal, they're paying that price for a reason. When you're looking at a deal like this, you're thinking about how does this affect the producers? How does this affect creatives? How does this affect actors, distributors, content creators, content funders? I can't overstate the fact that as state enforcers, certainly in addition to the federal government that are going to be looking at this deal, they are looking at the fact that when this deal closes, if there is an impact on the number of stories that get told and the types of people that get to tell those stories, that is a harm to our market, and that is a harm to the economy and to the American people that should be credited.
There's so many layers to this, bro. There's so many fucking layers to this shit. I can't wait for next season of the studio is gonna be fucking fire, man. This shit is crazy. This shit is actually crazy. That show is like probably the most important show happening, right? At least in the film industry, like, because it's so on point. This is disgusting. Yeah, it's like seeing a forest fire. It's like watching your dream in the distance, and then you just see the spark of a little forest fire, and you're like, oh man, I really hope they put that out. And then it just keeps growing and is growing, and you're like, well, fuck, we need to put this out before it gets uncontrollable. Nolan is going to go talk to the Netflix CEO from what I saw last post, I think yesterday or whatever, to kind of figure this out. Because I'm like, yeah, that's a scary thought. The way she said it was, who gets to tell stories and like representation and shit like that. And I think they're playing the consumer. The consumer is not thinking about it in the same way. They're thinking about it as in, oh, cool, that means Harry Potter's coming to Netflix or whatever. You know, they're not thinking about what type of movies that are going to be made and to what degree and capacity you're going to be able to see them, or how they're going to maybe change some of these things or take some of these things out, or you know, like there are episodes of shows that get taken out and we've seen them change things. Like they had to, like, I think it was Netflix. I don't remember who the fuck it was. One of these platforms, they put a little caution sign in front of Rush Hour for the jokes or whatever. When it's like, what the fuck? Like that, it's Rush Hour. What are we talking about? You know? So it's like, imagine that, but worse. And I mean, I hope Nolan saves us. I hope Nolan saves us. He has to. If Nolan can't save us, then we're dead. If he can't save us, then I don't know. Someone has to call Batman. Someone has to do something.
Already been talking to people
is actually
at the federal
scary.
level, at the state level, and internationally, because this is a significant threat, we believe, to the long-term viability of theatrical exhibition.
This is a very risky bet.
Theaters are not going to be able to survive on that either, by the way, mind you, because this is not a question. Like, imagine movies are only in theaters for 2 weeks at a time, right? It's easy to say that's fine when it's a movie like Sinners, or it's a movie like One Battle After Another, or Begonia or whatever, where the movie does extremely well. You can't say that for every movie. And so when movies aren't able to make back what they, you know, like there are so many factors into why so many people rely on theater releases. It's going to fuck up the movie business. And I feel like if this goes through, we are going to see a lot less movie theaters around, you know, or just a lot less options in theaters, which is already a problem. I mean, you look at the award nominations for most of these things, it's like how many movies are just simply repeated. I looked at Letterboxd and they had nominees for movies, and it was cool. It was nice, but it's also like, it is a lot of repeats for a lot of these categories. And these are movies that came out in theaters, or some of them were streaming, whatever. But it's like, it's hard enough for the Oscars to be meaningful to anybody because they never nominate movies that people are watching. So it's like, I feel like we're just making it harder to give people that experience of enjoying movies on a level in which they were founded on, you know,
riskier bet.
this is not elevating
When you're a seller, the only
the
thing that matters
storytelling. This
more
is
than
ruining
price
it.
is certainty of closing. And when you have this kind of regulatory risk across so many different dimensions, federal, state, in terms of domestic, but also international, on top of all the filings that are going to take a long time, there's a tremendous risk that Warner won't close the deal.
I hope they don't close the deal, bro. I hope they don't close the deal. If they close the deal, then we gotta riot. We gotta riot. We gotta do something. We gotta do something. Rosa Parks sat down, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with that because I don't know. At best, what can you do? Start investing into Netflix? Gross. I'm not doing that. And I feel like it's only going to get worse once AI becomes fully integrated into the filmmaking business. Ugh, you know, like ugh. It makes you want to vomit. It makes you want to vomit, man. How far are we? Okay. Well, let's just go over this really quick. Let's just get it out the way. Let's just go through this little Asian rabbit hole. You remember Nina?
Ladies, konnichiwa.
What's up? We all ain't Chinese. Konnichiwa is crazy.
We all remember Nina. We've spent plenty of time, as we saw on the YouTube Wrapped, watching Drewski level content, meaning we saw plenty of Could Have Been Love. We saw plenty of Asian Persuasion, aka Nina Lin. Now, unfortunately, Nina has just fallen off in terms of personality. She has been banned on many platforms, and I honestly don't even know what I can even show. She's been banned on a lot of platforms for a lot of different things: sexual assault, thief, or stealing, this disturbing can I say this, disturbing the peace, a lot of different shit, because she's been doing IRL streaming and I guess she's been an IRL streamer for a while, and IRL streamers are typically one of two types of people. Either they are really cool, really respectful, or they are just an actual nuisance on society. Nina seems to be the nuisance. There's a little compilation here. There's like compilations of her stealing shit. So she's bagging groceries at Target.
This shit, GG's. It's GG's, bro. It might really be GG's, gang. This.
Not even, bruh. Okay, that's crazy. Watching this video, like, oh my god. Try, like, just don't steal, man. Well, just
right
don't.
Here, it's crazy. $230. $30.
They skipped the part where she stole, or where she scanned the butter instead of the meat, but that's basically what happened. She scanned the butter instead of the meat.
How much is the cake? $39.
It's not very well done. Not very well done. And I think it's just crazy to film
39? Okay, fuck.
crime.
What the fuck? How do I get this?
I don't even know what.
Just here.
Oh, she put like something else under. That's so slimy.
If it don't scan, it's free, right?
If it doesn't scan, it's free. I heard someone mention this, and I feel the need to mention this. I work in retail. Anytime someone says that phrase, "Oh, if it doesn't scan, it's free," I want to strangle you. It is not a funny joke. It is not a joke that you have made for the first time. It's not the first time I'm hearing it. It's about the billionth time. Just don't make the joke. Just don't. It's going to scan. Just give me a literal second. It's going to fucking scan, bro. It's not free. It's never going to be free. You know where you live. It's never going to be free. Stop making the joke. Stop making the joke here. Stop making the joke in Targets, in Walmart, everywhere. Because I promise you, every person that works in this job has heard that joke so many times, and it makes us want to explode. It's not free. Like, why? It's not even subtle. It's just very obvious. I can't even tell what's happening in this shit.
This right here is crazy. No way, bro. This shit really got to be $30. Too close to this. Here, guys, I'm not stealing. I'm not stealing. Damn, do we have to scan this? Here. We're not stealing. We're not. I promise you we're not stealing. How much is the cake? $39. $39? Okay, fuck. Continue scanning. What the fuck? How do I get this?
So sad. So sad. You know? So she's fallen off. And, you know, I hope jail does you good. It's gonna do you good. It's gonna do you good. Black Friday is a scam. Black Friday is a scam. I think that's the next one. I feel like this year, at least this year it's a lie because everything has gone up in price. So when you have a Black Friday sale, to me, it's not that things are less or cost less. It's just that they cost less than they did yesterday. It was overpriced yesterday and it's overpriced today. But because you say it's on sale, I think I'm getting a deal. No, I'm not. I have put up prices. I have seen the prices in the place I work increase. So when we have deals, I think to myself, I'm like, you know what's crazy? This thing costs $9 right now. I remember when it used to cost $4, and then the deal says it's on sale for $6.50. This is not a deal, dog. These things have gone up so much in price that now the Black Friday sales aren't even deals because the company is still going to make profit because it's already well above the price it used to be. And I think that's just across the board. Like I didn't look at any deal. I'm like, if you want a deal, just go to Temu or AliExpress or something else, bro, where these places have deals year long. I replaced my watch band for a fucking $1. So I'm just like, Black Friday is a scam. It's definitely a scam this year. One of my coworkers was telling me like this year was a really successful Black Friday for people or for companies. And I'm like, I bet it was. Because everything was so much more expensive. So whether it's a deal or not a deal, companies are going to make a fuck ton of money. I'm like, it doesn't make sense because when I look at the prices of things, I'm like, well, it still feels like this is strange. Why does 30% off not seem like a legit sale? Why does, just because it's like $4 less doesn't make it a sale anyway.
Keely, there was no sale.
Black Friday is just not what it used to be.
20% is not a sale!
You see, back in my day, we would camp outside of Best Buy for 8 hours in order to get a steal.
But don't let these people slam y'all with these Black Friday scams.
I feel like as a kid, there were so many great deals, but now it just feels like a scam and that nothing is ever really on sale.
So all these people feel the same sentiment? That's crazy. All right, this is the first time I'm looking at this video. They all pretty much said it. Like there was a time where deals felt real. There was a time where 20% was legitimate, some type of sale, because I think this is what I always thought was interesting. I think when you get to a certain price point of a product, 20% does become a sale and then 20% actually does nothing. And the way I look at it like that, because like at where I work, I get 20% off of whatever I buy in the store. Sometimes that 20% means something, sometimes it doesn't. And it really depends on how much the thing I'm buying costs. Like if I buy an energy drink where I work, 20% changes that from being nearly $5 to only being like $3.50. So that's a pretty good 20%. But if something is on, but if there's something in the store, like let's say there's firewood. Let's say it's $10. 20% is like $2 off. But that firewood also has like a $1.90 tax or $2.99 tax. So you do the 20%, and guess what? You're still paying practically full price for the firewood. All the 20% did was take away the tax. And I noticed this for a while because I'm like, customers come in with rewards and things like that, and then they'll be like, oh, did the coupon blah blah blah. And then I'm like, oh wait, yeah, it did. It just took off the tax though. You know, I know you just bought this this power tool for like $160, but your 20% only took away the sales tax. You know, you saved on the tax, and that's pretty much how it always goes. And I'm like, that's so fucking scummy because the consumer thinks they're getting a sale if they don't pay attention to these things, which they're typically not. They're just want to use the coupon. You know, they're not constantly using coupons everywhere they go, so they don't notice it. But I notice it because I have to work at a register, so I see these things, and I also have to double check that the sales go through. Because I'm like, $5 off. Why does it still seem like it's way more than it should be? Oh wait, no, the $5 came off. It's just this thing is well overpriced for no reason. Sorry. I wish I could help you more. I wish I could give you a legitimate deal, but that's not my decision. I think Black Friday this year has just been more so of a way to keep people spending money at a time when they really shouldn't be spending money. People need so much more of their money right now than ever. And for Black Friday to legitimately be something beneficial, it needs to feel like a legitimate sale. And it didn't this year. It really didn't to me. Not at all. Not at all. I looked around and I'm like, I don't see anything that's not on sale that isn't on sale on any other day. And I don't see anything that's uniquely on sale, except for on AliExpress or Temu or something where they do got crazy sales. Sometimes their stuff works. Fuck.
But did you know that the name Black Friday actually has nothing to do with shopping?
It has to. What does the name Black Friday have to do with anything? you know?
If you're like me and have always heard the story that Black Friday is the day that retailers go from being in the red and operating at a loss to being in the black and profitable, you've actually been living a marketing lie. You see, Black Friday doesn't actually get its name from anything financially related. In order to explain this, let me take you back to
it's just 100% race. It's 100% racism. Black Friday
to the 1950s. It's Thanksgiving Day in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and the Army-Navy game is kicking off on Saturday morning. Now, the Army-Navy game isn't just another Saturday football game. This game is different. It brings in crowds from across the country to watch our nation's finest military academies face off against each other. And with that comes a lot of chaos. After eating their Thanksgiving feasts, massive crowds would descend on Philly, all in preparation for the big game. And those crowds would bring along traffic jams, gridlock, and mayhem in the streets, often leading to an increase in shoplifting and theft throughout the city.
Bro, imagine this many people? Fuck that.
Black Friday. Obviously, the retailers in Philly weren't huge fans of the name Black Friday, but they did want some way to signify the kickoff of the Christmas season the day after Thanksgiving. So they attempted to rebrand Black Friday to Big Friday and Big Saturday. But it never really caught on.
I like that way better. Big Friday and Big Saturday. That's so much better than Black Friday, bro. It's Big Friday. Oh, it's Big Saturday. Oh, it's time. Get them deals. It's Christmas season. Mariah Carey. Antar.
And as the hunger for
Big Friday is such a better name, I think. That's so much more. That's so much more interesting.
After Thanksgiving began to spread across the country and outside of Philadelphia, the retailers decided to return to the name Black Friday, but change the meaning of the term. And this is where we get the more commonly known definition that Black Friday is the day that stores go from writing their daily loss in red pen to writing their profit with black ink. But what about Big Saturday? Did the retailers really want to give up the full weekend of spending just for the catchy name of Black Friday? Not necessarily. It did take another 20 years or so to find a way to capitalize on the full weekend, but in 2005, the National Retail Federation dubbed the Monday after Thanksgiving Cyber Monday. As the internet became more popular, retailers started noticing a decline in shoppers on Black Friday. Many shoppers preferred to just stay at home on Friday, and once they returned to work on Monday, they would use their high-speed office internet to finish their holiday shopping lists. Originally, Cyber Monday was built to only sell online exclusive deals, and this was the store's attempt to not cannibalize their Black Friday deals. But as we know, e-commerce has pretty much taken over, and Black Friday, Cyber Monday has expanded to the entire month of November and then some. But we'll get
like, come on now. You know, like when you see that, you can't tell me that this ain't money based. Like,
get into that.
These fools
Monday
went,
has expanded to the entire
they
month
went
of
from
November.
Monday. They went from just Friday to Monday to, yeah, we're just going to do the whole month. We're just going to make it the whole month because of the amount of profit that you can make from this, bro. It's crazy. Because Cyber Monday, so you're saying Cyber Monday or Black Friday deals are pretty much all of December now. Man, yeah, that's crazy.
Because Black Friday sales are actually rarely a good deal, and oftentimes you might be losing more than you realize.
That's
the
what
most
I'm
basic
saying.
thing to understand about these sales is that they are not built for you. Think of a store like it's a parking garage. Every item on the shelf is a car in a parking space, and every car has to pay to park in the parking garage. The longer the cars sit in the garage, the more the owners have to pay to keep them there. So the stores would rather offer a discount to get the car out of the garage than to keep paying to leave it there. Every inch of space in a store is extremely valuable real estate, and they just don't want it to sit idle, especially going into the Christmas season when shoppers are actively looking to spend some serious money. So they heavily discount older, slower moving items in order to clear the space for high margin Christmas and holiday products. But sometimes those heavy discounts we see on the tags aren't actually discounts.
Here we go. He's about to say it. So the discounts are not actually discounts, bro. Like when it makes me so upset because seeing how much people pay for stuff when it's like that and knowing what the price of it used to be. We're not even talking about Black Friday. We're just talking about when prices increase. Like almost every week now, when I have people come in, someone who needs a key cut or whatever, you know, if they've gotten their key cut here in the past 2-3 years or so, you know, they're like, oh man, I remember it's $5 now. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I know they used to be like $2. How do you go from $2 to $5, bro? Like that's such a huge jump. These keys used to cost like $230. Now they cost $545. And people typically need more than one key at one time, usually. So making 2 cuts, right? Like that's less than $5 for 2 keys. Now it's $10 for 2 keys. That's way too much money. That's for a key that's only 92% likely to work. You know what I mean? Like It's way too expensive for no reason other than needing to make a profit from that amount of thing. I'm not blaming whoever, you know, but I'm like, someone has to understand that this is crazy.
Let me introduce you to a concept called price anchoring. This is a psychological tool that marketers use to manipulate the way you view the current price. This is used throughout online shopping, car sales, and even real estate deals. The sellers basically anchor the price of a good at a certain price and then slash through it with the new price. That original price is the anchor point for your brain, and you view the new price entirely based on that anchor point, which means you perceive the new lower price as more attractive, and thus you're more likely to purchase. But on Black Friday, the stores will play two games with your brain. Number one, the markup game. Take a look around the stores you go in throughout October and November leading up to Black Friday. If you're paying close attention, you'll notice that certain items throughout the store will slowly increase in price. It's usually not by much because they obviously don't want you to notice, but over the course of a few weeks or months, they can inch the price up just enough so that when Black Friday rolls around, they can slash through it, marking it back down to the original price and convincing you that you're getting a good deal.
Now, did I not just say that shit, bro? Like, that's crazy. That's literally what we did. Oh, man, that literally happens all the fucking time. And it blows my fucking mind because I'm like, what the, I would have, like, people would have so much more money in their pocket if this wasn't a thing. And it's a year-round thing. And there's nothing you can do as an employee of these companies other than just be like, I'm sorry that this is so expensive for no reason. You know, it shouldn't be. A little Bic lighter should not cost $3. With the result of this is theft. People start stealing more. They literally have more incentives to steal because they don't see the reason to pay X amount of money for something that's not worth that, you know? And so we're at a point where not only just because of like all these tariffs and shit like that, but we are at a point where people can notice that because they're starting to question, why does this thing cost so much?
The second game stores like to play is the Black Friday special. These are the end cap items or stacks of TVs all lit up and waiting at the door labeled one-time Black Friday specials. They look just like their normal related products, but these ones are special. Usually they'll have massive discounts and look like a complete steal compared to the rest of the store. And these are the items you usually see people throwing fists over. But what the stores don't want you to know is that these are not special in a good way. You see, these specials are typically downgraded, cheaper versions of the real thing. TVs are the best example of this. Many times, TV manufacturers will build Black Friday models of their more popular TVs in order to drive a buying frenzy. These versions of the TV are built with cheaper parts, don't have as many features, are missing certain ports and accessories, and overall, just not as good as you think. But since it's marked as the special and it's $300 off, everybody runs after them. The easiest way to avoid being scammed by the Black Friday special is to check the model number of the item you're buying. If it's been heavily discounted and there's a similar version on the website marked at a normal price, double check the model number to see if they match. If they don't, that means it's probably a trap. If they do match, then you've probably discovered the third game that stores like to play, the loss leader. This is
this is shit that people are not gonna do. This is if this ain't a fucking psyop, then I don't know what the fuck is. That's crazy. Okay, customers when they come into my store, like sometimes they'll have a product number or a SKU or whatever, you know, because they'll look online and be like, oh, it says this online. I'm like, yeah, but you're here in the store now and I'm telling you we don't have it. But sure, give me the information. Still gonna tell you you're wrong. But they come in with the information, looking for something, and sometimes the price is different, whatever. But the reality is most people are not going to do that. They aren't going to know how to match model numbers or product numbers to find, because it's not that deep for them. You know, these companies are manipulating people through this lack of the consumer's interest in truly verifying whether or not they're getting what is proposed to them. You know, and then they wonder why their TVs break or whatever product they buy doesn't last as long. And I'm like, this is fucked up because it's no point in selling products that are defective. And it's literally just wasting people's money.
Pretty simple concept and really nothing new, but it's important to include. Basically, a loss leader is something that a store is willing to take a loss on in order to get more customers in the door. For example, Best Buy could do a blowout sale on TVs offering them for $100. This would lead people to camping out in line just to get the chance to snag a TV for cheap. But Best Buy isn't doing this to sell TVs. they're doing it to get as many customers in the door because they know if they can get you in the door and tease you with a good deal, you
you'll
might
buy
see
other
something
stuff.
else you like
You'll
and
see
end up
other
spending
stuff.
more throughout the rest of the store.
Now, this is so crazy because this is 100% true. You know, not even just on the Black Friday, so just in a consumer mentality. Literally all the time, you'll have people come in and they'll get what they need, and then they'll just walk around the store and be like, "Oh, I want to see what else I can buy." And I'm like, bro, if you don't get the fuck out of here, you trust me, you're going to spend way too much money on what you got. Nothing else in here you need. You do not want to spend more money than you need to. It's not worth it. And it happens almost every day now where I see that. And I'm like, sometimes it is because of the sales. Some of the sales are great. Like we sell certain things that I think people buy often enough to where when they come into the store hoping for that thing to be on sale because it's such a good deal. Those are, to me, positive deals because it is an impact in the consumer's wallet that doesn't have to hurt them. It's certain things that they actually do need to buy regularly. But there are other things that people buy that are expensive that are more expensive than they should be, and they're not better quality, and they're just going to break, and then they have to come back and buy another one, you know, and it's so stupid. And then these deals, they get people in the store and these incentives, so then they spend more money than they need to. And I'm like, I try not to get people to do that. I'm like, I get what you need and go. Just get what you need and go. Don't look around. Don't look at too many things, man. It's not, you don't need it. You have one at home.
These loss leader products are just the bait to get you in, and the stores make the real money on the other high margin products you might buy. But even with all of these games, why does it work? We all kind of know
because
deep
people
down
want to
that
spend
these
money.
deals are usually too good to be true. So how is it that Black Friday is still just as effective today as it was in the 60s? Well, that comes back to simple human psychology. And there are four main tricks the stores will use, starting with number one, the fear of missing out. This is actually one of the most used psychological tricks with pretty much anything in your daily life. And that's because it's one of the most effective ways to convince people to do something. As a population, humans want to be in community and striving together. So when you threaten someone with the possibility that they might miss out on something or regret not taking action, they'll typically take the bait. During Black Friday, stores will use countdown timers and marketing focused on one-day only deals or limited time offers.
This happens, you know, this is such a real thing. And I'll give my own weakness. This is my weakness. Marvel Rivals, right? When Marvel Rivals, I took a break from it so I can do all this other stuff. But then I hopped back in there earlier this week, and it was really cool to see that they had so many new updates and whatever. But that timer thing, that deal thing is real, because I was looking at it and I was like, oh shit, they're going to have a Black Friday sale. I kind of want to see what's on there because I kind of want to see if I can get something, some costumes or something, you know? That fear of missing out kind of popped in because I always debate about getting battle passes and shit nowadays just because I'm like, I don't think they're worth it anymore. But with Marvel Rivals, I'm like, I kind of want to get the battle pass because the shit in here is kind of cool. So, you know, that fear of missing out was there because it's like you don't want to run out of time before the season runs out and you can't get access to this thing or these things without having to pay more or whatever. And your brain does all these things to either justify spending $10 to get this thing or whatever, $20 to get that thing, whatever. And you actually do have to have that level of discipline of the impulse control and be like, nah, you know what? Probably not the best idea. Probably won't need it. Every time I feel the need to like spend money on a game, like on an in-game purchase or something like that, if it's a game I really like, I have to tell myself, I'm like, dude, okay, think about it. You want to buy this battle pass? All right, cool. How about you wait until you make it through halfway through the battle pass? If you are halfway through it, if not 75% of the way through the battle pass, buy it. That at least will let you know you were committed to making it through the end of the battle pass, you know? And then the crazy thing, when I decided to start thinking that, stop buying battle passes because I was like, oh, I'm not even making it through like the first 10, 20, 30 levels just because I'm busy and I don't feel like playing through the battle pass. I don't feel like grinding it, right? Even if it's a game I like. You know, and it's just because it's like I'm not going to finish it. So that's just a waste of $20. I think I'm just more casually enjoying the game. The fear of missing out is still there, but you have to kind of tell yourself like you're not missing out because you're not going to put in the time to earn the justification for spending that level of money. When it comes to the consumer brain, it's so easy to get sucked into that, especially when it's stuff that you want or you feel like you need to have right then and there, you know, but you got to kind of take the step back. And I don't know, maybe if everybody is broke, then that's a good thing. So that way you don't even have the option. Like, you know, 9 times out of 10 for me, it's not even an option anyway. I'm like, man, you don't even got the money. You don't even got the money to be putting into the card to pay for this shit. So you know, you can just look at it and just enjoy it and enjoy the look of it. And maybe one day, if you make enough, you can earn that battle pass, buddy. Maybe one day. You got to learn to enjoy the window shop, and people want to buy now. No one wants to window shop anymore. I miss those days. And that's because they want everybody inside now. They want everybody online. It's hard to window shop online. Window shopping is funner in person.
Under the pressure of time and FOMO, our brains kick
I
into
do believe
system
in
one
that.
thinking, which means we're making choices based on emotion and
Yep.
impulse,
Yep.
leaving all rationality at
Yep.
the door. But if
Yep.
that doesn't work,
literally,
and you're strong
literally
enough
what I said, emotion, impulse, all that, you gotta
to
override that
maintain
shit.
your rational thinking, they'll actually use it against you. Which brings us to the second trick, the endowment effect. This one is a little more interesting because it's the stores banking on you doing your research and coming in prepared on Black Friday. They don't want the impulsive customer. They want the person who's put in the time to figure out exactly what they want. That's why you'll start seeing Black Friday catalogs show up a few weeks before, or emails listing out the deals that will be available. These aren't sent out for your advantage, but instead, the stores know that the more time you spend researching something or waiting for something, the more likely you are to buy it. It's kind of like sunk cost theory plus a dopamine rush. We spent all this time double checking that this is exactly what we want, and our dopamine levels increase with the anticipation that you're going to get it. So when Black Friday rolls around, the stores know you'll not only buy the thing you've been eyeing, but you might also pick up a couple of accessories or things to go with it because you've already started the momentum of buying. So what's another $20 here and $40 there? Black Friday and Cyber Monday are no longer just 2 days on the calendar. They've stretched to encompass the whole month of November and even into October for some brands. The longer sales were originally due to customer demand because people wanted better deals for longer. But this increase in length wasn't just for operations. It also feeds the beast. The more messages we see, the more discounts we notice, the less energy we have to rationally evaluate every single one, which means you're more likely to make an irrational purchase on day 14 of the sale than you were on day 1. So as these sales get longer and longer, they're able to hook more people in purely out of exhaustion.
The decision fatigue, I think, is real. If I can put this into context for myself, whether it's buying something on a PlayStation store or hitting a dispensary, I think it's cool. It's interesting to see what happens when it gets closer to the end of a sale. Because a lot of the times, like if there is a game that I want that's on sale, what I'll do is I'll look to see when's the last day for it. And I was like, I'm going to wait until like 2 days or so before the end of the last day, so I can decide if that's what I want to get. Like, not even because it's a major purchase, but just to like push it back and avoid like the impulsive desire to buy the thing immediately. So I usually do that with a lot of games that I see if they're on sale that I wanted to get or something like that. So the way he described it is very true. The closer it gets to that last day, the more likely you are gonna push yourself to buy it. And it even happens when I'm working too. I'll see people come in on the last day of a coupon sale or the last day of the month or whatever, using up whatever coupons or sales deals that they have because they want to make sure they spend that money or get those savings that they think they're getting, even if they don't really have a reason to spend the money for it. Like there are people that will come in and be like, I just had these coupons, I want to spend them, or I just want to use them. And I'm like, well, I mean, okay, cool. I mean, you're a 46-year-old woman. I don't know what you're gonna do with the measuring tape and a hammer, but I mean, okay, that'll be $30. You saved 2. Congrats. Like I don't, like you're just wasting your own money and your time. But decision fatigue is real. I hit that shit hard when it comes to like PlayStation or dispensaries, just because it's like, yeah, I kind of want to wait because it's a luxury, like buying these things. So when it comes to luxuries, I try to push that off and make sure it's like, well, let me wait till after I pay all my bills. Let me wait till I make sure I do have food. Let me make sure I'm good before I make this decision. So I push it off as far as I can. Most of the case, I think it's rare where I'm just like, nah, fuck it. I'm gonna just drop this money right now because I want it. Maybe like with GTA 6
but
or something.
today, it's $100 off. Our
it's
brains
rare.
don't immediately register that the TV is $400 now. Instead, we just focus on the $100 off.
This one is the illusion, the savings illusion. The savings illusion.
This is the bread and butter of Black Friday. Let's say we see an ad for a TV that's normally priced at $500, but today it's $100 off. Our brains don't immediately register that the TV is $400 now.
No.
Instead, we just focus on the $100 off because in our caveman minds, we think we're now $100 richer if we buy the TV today, which is exactly what justifies the purchase. But as you know, through simple math, you're not $100 richer. you're just $400 poorer. It's the savings illusion that drives all the other games and tricks we've covered so far. Everything else is just stacked on top of this simple concept that relies on our chicken brains not thinking rationally.
Jesus, he's kind of attacking the brain here. First he called us a caveman brain. Now I've never heard this one. A chicken brain? Damn. Bro, that's fucked up. You got a chicken brain. Okay. I don't know what the fuck that means. Chickens got emotions, man. They do things. They're like, the chickens can be a pet. I work with people who have chickens for pets. They are real. They're complex, man.
About prices. But now that you know how the hidden systems of Black Friday work, how can you beat it? Well, first off, ignore the savings, the discounts, and the percent off signs.
Facts.
Only focus on the price. If something is $100 off, but it's still $400, you shouldn't be thinking about the deal you're about to get. You should actually be thinking about whether or not that item is even worth $400.
Facts, because if it's only $100 off and let's say you have $600 and it's $400 and it's $100 off, the difference between that $100 is not a big difference. You know, in certain contexts, $100 is a lot. In other contexts, it really is not. I think wagering that is important. Like Borderlands 4 could be a $70, $80 game. So it being on sale for $60 is not that big of a difference. It's still a lot of money for what could be considered a mediocre game. It should still be less than $60. But they give you a price gouge so you think you're paying more when it's like, nah, I mean, it's only $20 less, man. That extra, it's not a savings, you know, in the context of buying a game. And I think you have to understand that within the products that you're buying in the context of what you're buying it from. And people don't, it's hard to do that with everything.
And finally,
I guess.
Use price trackers and wait for the price to actually come down. It's never been easier to set an alert to find the true lowest price of an item you might want. And as we mentioned earlier, usually that's not even on Black Friday. In fact, the cheapest prices of the year often fall sometime in January, because this is the time that the stores have to clear their shelves off and they don't have a crowd of holiday shoppers ready to spend. It's important to remember that not everything on sale is necessarily a lie, but it is all a system. And it's a system designed to make you spend more on things you probably don't need, when the best deal is actually the money you don't spend.
My man couldn't have said it better himself. He said it, you know, the best deals are the ones where you don't spend any money at all. And I mean, I guess that's just a lesson on these major sales and what they're for. Shop in January. I guess that's the real moral lesson. January is the time when you can probably get a better deal for most things, or shop on Temu and AliExpress, because that shit is always on sale year round. Like fucking, you know, get you a spaceship for 99 cents. I don't know. Like, it won't be a big one. It'll be like maybe a thumb size one, but it'll be yours. It'll be yours. I think that's it then. I think that's it. We're going to call it here. I think this was a great episode. We will see what comes of this one. But, you know, episode 42, we're going to, I don't know. I don't know where we started. This is how we're ending. So until next time, I'll see you on the next one. Should I play the music out? We'll play the music out. I'll see you on the next one. It's just 100% race. It's 100% racism. Black Friday.